Hello and welcome to the Barton Edition. My name is Taylor Baker and I'll be your host today. Today we have Mr. Mark Peterson with us, otherwise known as Maestro, who is the Director of Music at Barton, and he is also the Director of the Barton College Wilson Symphony Orchestra. Mr. Peterson, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you, Taylor. It's a pleasure to be here.
So today we want to talk about what kind of upcoming concerts we have going on here on the Barton College campus. Could you tell me about your next concert we have?
Well, with the orchestra, we have a concert coming up on November 20th, Sunday at 3 o'clock. The Symphony Orchestra will perform a concert at the Kennedy Theater, and we will feature pianist Beth Levin. She's flying down from New York to perform the Mozart Concerto number 20 with us. And we're really fortunate to have Beth back here in Wilson. She's an extraordinary artist. She's studied with the greatest pianists of our era, and she performs in the US and in Europe, and she's recorded CDs, and she's up for a Grammy this year. So we're really fortunate to have Miss Levin back with us for this concert.
Okay, so what is the actual title for this concert? Is it just like a...
Well, every year we have 4 set concerts that pretty much remain unchanged, and this one is our fall concert. And typically our fall concerts are performed in the Kennedy Theater here on the Barton campus.
Everyone is welcome, correct?
Absolutely. We do charge $10 general admission, but all students are admitted free. That means any student, not necessarily a Barton College student. So youngsters and college students with an ID from their institution are absolutely welcome to attend this concert free of charge.
Okay, so what kind of pieces are you going to perform during that concert?
Well, we have 2 major works. The first piece is a symphony by Franz Joseph Haydn. It's Symphony number 40. It's nicknamed the Farewell Symphony, and it's sort of a funny legend. Actually, it's not a legend. It was verified by Haydn himself that he composed this piece when his orchestra asked him, begged him to please let us return home. They were all on vacation with the prince that he worked for out at a rural castle, and they left all their wives and families at home, and they said, please let us go back. And so Haydn wrote a symphony where the musicians, at the end, one by one, leave the stage to give a message to his duke that everybody wants to go home now.
Are you in charge of choosing what pieces are going to be performed, or?
Absolutely. I listen to suggestions. People come up with ideas from time to time. But like in this concert, Miss Levin is playing this Mozart piano concerto, and I discussed it with her, and we decided which piece would the audience like the best and which one would she like to put into her repertoire.
How do you come to that conclusion, which ones you're going to perform?
Well, that's a good question. I normally have a sniff test. I like the music to be genuine, authentic classical music, but I like the pieces to have a ring of familiarity. My audiences don't like to be befuddled or confused in any way. They like to feel comfortable. And so selecting music that people are likely to have encountered before really is my mission. So rarely do I play pieces that I personally always wanted to do. I'm always thinking about what would my audience like to hear.
I know you're also in charge of the choir here at Barton. Is that affiliated in any way with the symphony, or would they be performing together, or no?
Well, they have performed with the symphony. Notably, last season they sang a Bach cantata with the orchestra, but that was an unusual confluence of concerts. This year, the choir is doing their traditional Christmas show, and I forget the date. It's the last Tuesday in the month of November. It's the date we have the Barton College Christmas celebration. And the choir will be performing their annual service of Christmas lessons and carols. It's really a lovely service and a lovely performance by the choir.
So other than this fall concert we have coming up, what other types of things do we have to look forward to?
Well, remaining in this season with the symphony orchestra, will be the Gala Love the Symphony event. We always have that on Valentine's night, February 14th, and it's a big performance in the gym where we festoon the gym with all sorts of decorations, and we have tables, seating, and food and wine and a concert, and that is upcoming in February. This year it's featuring a Broadway-style vocalist, and it should be an exciting event. And then following that, late in April is the spring concert, and I'm having another noted pianist come down from Baltimore, from the Peabody Conservatory, to perform a Chopin piano concerto with us.
I meant to ask you, how do you decide like what soloists you're going to have come and perform with it?
Yeah, that's interesting. Sometimes I have a particular need, like for the season following, I want a trumpet concerto. And so I asked around the people in the Raleigh area and found a gentleman who performs with the Carolina Symphony, and that just fulfilled a need. Other times I have friends and acquaintances and professionals that I've encountered across my career, and I will call on these people to come down. This gentleman in the springtime I actually found via a cold call from an agent, and I occasionally will listen to an agent, and this woman had a nice spiel, and this gentleman, Mr. Solomon Eichner, is the real deal. He really is a fabulous player, and so I arrive at these decisions from many directions.
Assuming you have a lot of responsibility getting all these things together, what would you say is the most difficult part of it?
It's funny because rarely does a music director or an orchestra conductor handle so many things, you know, deciding on the programming, taking care of the personnel, taking care of the budget, and seeing the money get spent in the right way, and writing the programs and the notes, and moving furniture and stuff like that. I would imagine that the most difficult thing for me is all the writing I have to do. I have to write program notes and publicity and proposals and things such as that, and I think I'd rather write 1 page of music than 10 pages of music rather than 1 page of text.
For the upcoming event, is there anywhere that the people can go and like find out like when, how much it costs, and all these things?
Yeah, these things are publicized on the Barton College cultural calendar, and they can be found there. We have a brochure for the Barton College arts events throughout the year, and also at the website, www.barton.edu, you can find links to a variety of calendars.
Okay, like could you expand like even more detail about the next upcoming concert? Because I know people probably want to know a whole lot about that. I don't.
Yeah. Well, it is a very exciting project. We have 2 works by the major composers from what we call the classical era. That's Franz Joseph Haydn and his younger, almost protege, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And it's really an honor to be able to recreate these really amazing pieces of music. We paired them together as much because they are compatible with each other, and also they use similar sized orchestras. That way I can use pretty much the same orchestra for each performances. Sometimes orchestras call for more instruments, additional winds and what have you. So this, particularly the Mozart D minor concerto, is a really great project for the orchestra. It's a very famous piece. It's one that we've wanted to do for quite some time. And I think the audience will find the dark, exciting, stormy qualities of this music to be particularly compelling.
So I'm not sure if you're like this, but I know a lot of people that are music directors and things like that hope that people will get some kind of inspiration from their performances. And I didn't know if maybe there was any kind of inspiration that you hope that people get.
Well, you know, it's my experience that everybody's different and everybody brings a different perspective to what they hear. But I would indeed hope that people would be excited by the variety of music that we present, and also for the opportunity to see a symphony orchestra really up close and personal. In the Black Box Theater here on campus, the audience is relatively close to all the action. So not only is the sound excellent, but you really get to see how this is all put together, and you get to watch the pianist's fingers and see how much the conductor is sweating, which is a frequent occurrence.
How many years have you been taking on this responsibility here at Barton?
Right, well, this is my 16th year. This will be my 16th fall concert. And you know, before I came to Barton, I had a lot of conducting experience as well. But it's been fun working with this orchestra for so many years and seeing the remarkable growth in the size and the quality of the performances. And so much of that is due to the support from the Wilson community and the hard work from my absolutely wonderful board of directors. I should also mention the support that we get from Barton College is amazing. They really seem to love us.
Okay, about the symphony, doesn't the symphony also do things like out in the community, not just like at Barton? Like, talk about the orchestra, like the symphony, like what they do.
Well, you know, my orchestra is comprised of a variety of, with a variety of players from different backgrounds, and it's almost impossible for us to put the orchestra together for a daytime event, since so many people work daytime jobs and have commitments elsewhere. But once a year, we present a concert. It's in late September, or in October, we call it Downtown. Now, we do not necessarily have to perform it downtown, but the purpose of that event is to take the orchestra off campus and bring it elsewhere. In the past, we've had performances at the First United Methodist Church here in Wilson, at the Edna Boykin Cultural Arts Center, and we even had a performance, multiple performances in the Fletcher Theater in Raleigh.
Well, is there anything you'd like to add?
Well, only that I hope the public finds our concerts appealing, and it's a wonderful thing to do on a Sunday afternoon. And so if you'd like to come out, we would love to have you visit us at the Kennedy Theater.
Okay, well, we thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
My pleasure.
To our viewers, thanks again for watching. This is all the time we have left for today, and we hope that you will come out and enjoy the concert that Mr. Peterson here has worked so hard to put together. And I'll see you next time. I'm Taylor Baker, and thanks for watching the Barton Edition.